Stockton on KXVS. Go to our website, thevoiceofstockton.org, to get more information. Right here on 92.1 FM. Coming soon.
KXVS on 92.1. Coming soon.
You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years. I know. They're called doctors. Man, did I get duped with mud. You eat a lot of pink chips when you were a kid? Why?
Welcome to the afternoon entertainment hour at OJ's Juice Bar, and here's today's juice.
Hey, is this soup bingo fast? No. Your face does. What number did you call? 2, 4, 9er. We're going from Milwaukee to Stockton.
This is your host, OJ, and most of you guys know me as Orlando Jose.
That's me!
And I'm the co-host, Eric G.
You're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton. And welcome back to the afternoon entertainment hour at OJ's Juice Bar, and here's today's juice. So tell us, everybody, what we got on.
We have John Chen, CEO of Geoteaming, their 20th anniversary.
All right, we'd like to say hello to you, John.
How you guys doing?
Well, we're doing great.
We're doing great, John.
So tell us about all the good things that are happening with Geoteaming this year.
Well, calling you today from stormy San Jose, but we're entering our 20th year of team building.
Nice.
And again, I started doing team building after having a job at a big corporation. I was at Microsoft, but decided really what my key passions were technology, adventure for human change. And it's amazing that I've been able to take an idea, and now I'm in my 20th year. We completed our 1600th event, and I just returned from Beijing, China, where I keynoted a conference on adventure learning for over 400 people. In China. So that's what's going on with me.
Oh my goodness, you're very, very busy, and your flight scheduling is probably really amazing.
Is that how to start the new year or what? Okay, that's a lot.
No kidding. What a vacation, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, I actually had a great experience in Oakland. Was it a couple years ago with John Chen?
Oh, so let me know what happened. What happened?
Yeah, we learned a lot of cool things, a lot of technology. We got to work the Google Glass. I remember that was a great experience.
So yeah, tell us about that now.
Yeah, tell us about where did the Google Glass go?
Oh, that's funny, and that's technology moves so fast, right?
Yeah.
So the program, Eric, that you came to too. Again, we specialize in team building that uses technology and adventure. So of course we're always looking for new trends. And when we were doing Google Glass, right, you can actually give the voice commands, and we were able to get you to take a picture with the Google Glass on your head. But in China, actually, the thing that they asked me to speak on was the latest trends in U.S. team building. And one of the 3 trends I told them about was around app-based team building. Like, we actually now run all of our team building on an app, so that replaces all the equipment that we've had. And so now we can run these gigantic games, but without a lot of equipment, because we just use the cell phone that's in your hand and turn it into a game device. And so we've been able to run events for over 3,000 people.
Nice.
using app-based technology. And that stuff has just developed over the last 2 to 3 years.
Nice.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, like.
Yeah, we had like tablets and cell phones, and actually a messenger, right?
What got you into doing stuff like this, John?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What got you into doing stuff like this, John?
Oh, okay, cool. So I was at Microsoft. I was a software design engineer at Microsoft. But around year 7 at that company, I've been asking myself this question kind of my whole life, and it was basically, I always knew I was supposed to do something. I just don't know what it is. But I started doing leadership programs, and one of the programs I was volunteering, I was working with another guy who's an executive coach, and he's the only person on this planet who's ever answered that question and said, give me a weekend and I'll tell you exactly what it is. Doesn't that sound like an enticing offer?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Like panicking. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some mind mentors here for that.
So
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
So I actually had the money and the time, so I went down to Huntington Beach, that's where he lived, and over the course of 2 days and 48 hours, we wrote the entire business plan for this company, and what I affectionately call the Jerry Maguire moment. Do you remember in Jerry Maguire where he's like holding the manifesto in his hand and he's like sweating? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually did that. I had like 7 to 9 pages, and I sent it to 60 to 70 family and friends and said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave Microsoft and start this company that's going to change the world.
Who's
right?
coming with me?
Right? Who's coming with me? Show me the money.
I know.
Okay.
Hey,
It's
John.
yeah.
Hey, John. Quick question now. With this team building app that you have, how does it integrate with like businesses? Let's say you have a company and you want to do a little team thing with your employees and stuff. Do you have that in play also?
Yeah, so most of my companies are like mid to large size companies, but it also works for small companies. But let's just take one of the large companies, and basically we get a division of it. And one of the key goals, while this event is super fun, right? Eric can tell you how fun it is.
Okay.
But one of the key goals is cross-team collaboration, which is getting multiple teams to work together towards company goals. Like,
Right.
You ever worked at a place and like your team was completely siloed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, definitely.
our team building event is meant to solve that. So we do a team building event where there's 2 goals, where the teams are trying to win, but in addition to that, the teams have to work together to achieve a company goal. And what happens is that they get 2 chances at it, but inevitably in the first opportunity, over 80% of our teams go completely competitive, where like one team doesn't work with the other team and the third team leaves the room to do their planning, and so nobody works with each other. And they realize that halfway through the event, and then they change, realizing that the event is called the AHA, that this is not a team event, this is actually a company event. And people's behaviors change. And yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it's almost as good name as iPhone, right? Right. So people come back from that and they change their behavior, then they realize that they can change that at work. And that's what we lead them to, and then we actually end the event. They make a commitment about what they're going to do different back at work, and then we actually end the event with a digital slideshow of like the photographs and videos of everything they did during the event. And so that's kind of like one of our events in a nutshell.
Nice.
Yeah, I found the event that I participated in was very knowledgeable, and what I took home from that was I gained a lot of self-confidence. I gained a lot of information, and it made me like a different person. And just experiencing what it's like to actually interact better with people, and it really did. I find it could work very well with couples as well. You know, the information and the bonding and stuff that goes with the teaming.
Oh, like breaking ice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to know everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because this event is really, you realize a couple things, which is how you work with other people, and especially people that are really different than you. Actually, on the couple side, Eric, you'll love this. One time we did an event, it was a charity event, and so it was all couples that they came, but we split them, so it was all men versus women.
Oh.
Nice.
And so it was really competitive. It was like the Amazing Race. And so of course, the men team took off with no goals, right? And just going to like whatever, like what best at the time, right?
Right.
The women, of course, stopped and they all talked to each other. They built a strategy, and of course, they won the event.
Nice. Well, that sounds like my mansplaining show.
Yeah, that is.
It's like it's a difference between how men and women think, and,
Right.
and they do. We think different than women, and it's just how it is, and that is very interesting.
Now, John, like we're talking earlier. I was talking about mental health and how it's affecting society today. And I've been trying to figure out, if there's a way that a lot of these things can be integrated and setting apps and certain settings where people can really be able to understand a lot of the underlying issues that people are experiencing that makes them make, some kind of decisions. Like when we hear about the guy who did the shooting a couple of days ago at the airport, things like that. You sometimes I wonder, like, what is the underlying issue right there?
What triggered the mom?
Right. What triggered you to go to that extent?
What pushes you that
And
far?
I think that a lot of times it's lack of communication, right?
Yes.
And, so when I hear about the kind of things that you guys are doing, it kind of inspires me, man. I'll be honest with you. Kind of inspires me to feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel,
Join the team.
Yeah, there's.
Right.
Well, thank you for that. I do think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and inside of in these mental issues that come around with this, there's probably an altered point, which is all of us at one time have probably felt like doing something like that. But what makes us different is that we find a way to stop that and do something better.
Right.
Right? Because we all know that's not the best end solution. That's like a terrible way to solve your problem.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
Like you don't want to be that guy right now. And so so that's something that we do. Actually, what's really funny is that we just worked this event. We used this app that I have to create a game to reinforce the learning from my friend's event. His name is Thatch Nguyen, right? He's a Vietnamese guy in Seattle, and he came to this country broken homeless, and he is now like a multi-millionaire. Like I actually got to sit in his freaking Ferrari.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
I actually had a couple conversations with him on texting.
Yeah.
Great guy.
And so here's like one of the secrets that he has. He literally has done this for the last 10 years, every single day, every morning. And I've actually started doing it to see how my life would be different. But every morning he just wakes up and he just says, it's not at all even about being grateful, but it's about being appreciative. Like, name 10 things that you appreciate today in your life, like right now. So maybe you want something better. Like maybe you want this radio station to be better, or more techs, or more people, or whatever. But he's saying, think about all the things that you can appreciate about this place now. Like the whole fact that you have a radio station now, right? The fact you guys have an awesome website, right? The fact that you have these cool shows, right? The fact that I was looking on your website, you've had some pretty cool guests on your show.
Right.
And that's probably why you guys do this thing is to do that. And so that's what I've done with that, is like, it reminds me every day, like, what's the things that I'm thankful for instead of being pissed off at like the stuff that I don't have. And it sounds simple, but it can cause changes in it. The other thing that we taught a lot is that we borrowed. So if Eric remembers, like I spent a lot of time with Tony Robbins in the heyday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy, right? Actually, next time I come to next time I come to Stockton, I'll actually teach all you guys how to break a board if you want to do it on air.
Oh, nice. Oh, sweet.
We'll do it. Okay, so the thing that he talks about is state management, and what he means by state management is like how you manage yourself, right? And it comes around three things, like your focus or the questions you ask yourself, the stuff you believe, and then of course how you use your body. And so I've used those things, like when you start feeling crappy or like you're going to do something bad, you change one of those three things and you can actually start feeling much better in a very short amount of time, and like finally explain like why am I feel so crappy right now, and more importantly, how do I feel good like in this moment. So those are some of the things that I've done.
It's hard to get an instant change. It's really difficult if you fight yourself. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
I find it real difficult sometimes, and it's hard to let go of stuff. How do you brush it off? How do you let go?
I've got one right now that I'm trying to deal with too. I have somebody who is reneging on a contract that's worth about $90,000, and I can't imagine how you could do this consciously and just say, I'm just not going to do this, right? But at least in my life, how some things that let me think about two things that have helped me out. One is I felt good before this bad thing happened, so I could actually choose to feel good while this bad thing happens, and more importantly, at some point after this bad thing, I can definitely feel good after this bad thing happens. So that's something that has helped me out. And then the second time is sometimes is looking for like something that is really useful from it. Like one time I had a really bad manager who put me in a bad situation at Microsoft, and the gold out of it was that I figured out that I didn't really want to work for him, so I started hunting for a new job. And the process was really fun. I got to hang out. I got to interview with the Microsoft Research Division and the Microsoft Multimedia, and then I got to do the favorite thing. About 6 weeks later, after I secured a job, I got to walk into his office and saying, "I'm transferring."
Okay, like stuff like that. Like that's what stuff like that. Like for I was always wondering for you. Like, did you ever get a challenge you weren't sure you weren't gonna get it done, and you find a way to pass through it?
Oh, this happens all the time. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to, the best entrepreneurs in the world are the ones who are comfortable with uncertainty, right? And that's it. I mean, it's and your ability to handle uncertainty and turn it into something certain is a lot of your value in the world. Like one of them was we got contracted to do a team building event for 3,000 people in the Chase Field baseball field in Arizona. And I'm like, have I ever done that before? No.
Right.
But are we going to figure it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Right.
And let me tell you, I'll tell you the end story later. Someday I'll tell you the rest of the middle. But in the end, I mean, we literally got 3,000 people into individualized seats in the baseball stadium.
Wow.
And we started this team building event. They got to go around and do things like hit in the baseball, the visitors dugout in the baseball cage in there. They got to shoot T-shirts into the stands to targets that we had set up. And they built their company logo on the field completely out of food cans, which they donated thousands of dollars of food to a food bank after the event. And here it is. The last team walks over the finish line almost exactly at the time I predicted, and the ceiling opened up in Chase Field during this kind of cold night in Arizona, and the fireworks go off, and they literally play Katy Perry's Firework.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And I'm looking at my team at the end of this going, holy cow, we did this thing.
We pulled it through,
Hats off to you there, man.
That's real teamwork. That's teamwork and teamwork.
It is. John Chen is the real deal here.
Yeah.
He's just meeting the guy, and I've been friends with John for so many years, and where
can they find him at?
Right. So tell people that need to get a hold of you. Tell them what they can do.
Oh, well, and you got to remember that the key point around that, not only that I'm the real deal, but I'm born and raised in Stockton, California.
Yeah.
Come on.
There we
go. Awesome.
Stocktonian online. Stocktonian online.
Oh my God, yeah. Tokay High, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, come meet me up. Actually, I'm so excited. You can actually go to my website at geoteaming.com. So it's GEOTEAMING.com. I actually just, this holiday season, I spent about 4 days between Christmas and New Year's and put a whole bunch of new stuff on my website. And from there, you can connect to me on Facebook or LinkedIn for all my latest updates. I know Eric sees all the stuff that I get to do on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's such a great thing that you're doing. Do you still were you still involved, or did you actually do the Clean the World, or?
Oh yeah, are you talking about the hygiene kits that we do?
Yes.
Yeah, we're still involved with a nonprofit called Clean the World.
Right.
So this is one of the topics I talked about in China. They're saying it's a hot topic here in America. It's called CSR, or Corporate Social Responsibility Team Building. And we actually do a team building event. So like, have you guys ever gone to a hotel and used the shampoo and the soap, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever wondered where that stuff goes?
It used to go in the garbage, right?
I thought the cleaning lady took it home.
Right, for the kids.
These two guys who founded this company asked the same question because they were sales guys for an internet company before they started this, and they called 20 hotels that they had stayed in recently, and all of them were throwing all the stuff away. What these guys did, started gathering it, and they actually created a patent pending process to repurpose the soap. They grind up the soap and then sanitize it, and they're able to create new bars of soap out of it for a very cheap cost. And so they do the soap, shampoo, conditioner, and body lotion and they actually now build this hygiene kit, of which we build these during a team building event, and then donate them to a local charity. That makes a huge difference.
Wow.
Okay, now that's one right there.
I'm curious. What was the worst and best times of the team building events that you had? I mean, you know, like these guys are never going to get like together, you know, in a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden they're just like made incredible time to working together.
Geez. Well, I'm trying to think, like, some of the worst time. I told one of my facilitators one of the story. I was doing a team building event in Houston, Texas, for a huge energy company. All right, and in the middle of the event, this AHA event that I was telling you about, right? The group starts to realize that they screwed up and did the wrong thing. But this old guy starts coming at me, and he starts saying, "You know what? It's your fault because we failed." Right? And he said it in such a way, like it was very accusatory, like it actually threw me a little off balance, going, "Whoa, you're blaming me?" But luckily I'm a facilitator. We do something called facilitator Aikido. Like, you know Aikido, like I took all his energy that he sent to me and I sent it right back to him.
Nice.
You shouldn't mess with a professional, because basically I said, I did this thing, and it's called agree and frame. If you ever do improv, you'll learn these techniques. One of them is called agree and frame. And so, in the end, after he said this gigantic tirade, and everybody in the room is really tense and looking at me going, what am I going to do with this? Because he had done this a lot in his company, was attack people, right? And I said this. I said, you know what? And he goes, what? And I go, you're right. And he goes, huh? It totally threw him off guard. I said, you're right. You know what? If it's my job to give you the same 2 goals and 5 rules that I've given to 1,500 companies, and you screwed up, right, and you failed, then it's my fault. Also, those exact same 2 goals and 5 rules that somebody actually came in and scored the highest score possible, then that too is my fault, right? And so I basically framed this whole thing that he suddenly realized that it was how he was behaving was what was wrong. In the end, it was so bad, he said, I think I'm going to sit down now.
Wow.
The Hadouken power. Hadouken! Yeah.
So that was like one of the worst times turned around into the best times, because at the end of the event, he came back in and apologized for his behavior. And the woman who hired me for it said, this is a problem they've been dealing with for like 4 years, and now they have this ability to talk about it, and now he's actually open to change. He was the world's foremost oceanic researcher in the world. Like, he knew exactly where, like, all the techniques about how to drill oil in an ocean.
Wow.
He was like one of the best in the world.
Okay, mapping,
I didn't know this.
Underwater mapping and stuff. Yeah. Great stuff. Oh, it was wonderful and great to have you on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. And hope to have you back on again. You're great, wonderful, and also here is Shogun with Mind Mentors, and you guys are both great people. And
I know, man. Good meeting you too, John from Stockton. Man, we put in Stockton on the map gradually.
I came a long way.
Yeah, we're gonna put Stockton on the map in a good way. And I was telling Eric, I can't wait to come hang out with you guys in person in the studio. But until then, you people listening, listen to the voice of Stockton.
There you have it.
We have it going on. Yes. We are all community all the time.
This is welcome to the afternoon entertainment hour, the OJ's Juice Bar, and here's today's juice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, I stopped smoking cigarettes. I'm onto a 5-year plan. I eliminated the cigarettes, then I go to cigars, then I go to pipes, then I go to chewing tobacco. I'm onto that nicotine gum.
Welcome to the afternoon entertainment hour at OJ's Juice Bar, and here's today's juice.
I'm Buddha, the clown. I am the field of local live home entertainment. Get in your mouth and get out of here.
This is your host, OJ, and most of you guys know me as Orlando Jose.
That's me.
And I'm the co-host, Eric G.
You're listening to KXVS.